Hi everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt and this is Son.
Hi.
This is our Fighter Fest and Day 2 reactions. Yep, just done watching Night 2 of Fighter Fest. Whether it was better than Night 1 I don't really know, but we'll get into that as we go through it. Obviously there's a big change because Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage, that title didn't happen. That's happening next week, isn't it? Yep. But there was a little bit about that match, or should we say Brian Cage and Taz during Night 2. So, Kai, what was the first match on Fight Fest Night 2?
Private Party with Matt Hardy versus Page and Omega.
Yep, for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Obviously, Page and Omega won last week. They're now defending against the Private Party this week. To be fair, probably a bit of a controversial point, but I'm getting a little bit tired of seeing Omega and Page with the titles now. I don't know about you, Kai. What do you think? Do you think them titles need to change hands now?
Yes.
Yeah, I do as well. I think they need to kind of change. I know the pandemic around the world hasn't really helped with the situation. They probably would have had a bit for matches in front of crowds, and they probably would have changed them now to another team. But there are some real good up and coming tag teams that really need to be shining with them titles, and I just think Adam Page and Omega, they kind of need to, they've done that sort of experiment now with that tag team. They kind of now need to separate, get Omega back into a singles program, maybe like with Cody Rhodes for the TNT Championship. Maybe just get him out of tag team wrestling. It's just not working for him. But that being said, Page and Omega did actually get the win, and then they obviously moved forward with the titles. So what was the next match?
Joey Janela versus Lance Archer.
Yep, last week there was a little bit of an altercation between Joey Janela and Lance Archer. That brought this match to this week. Lance Archer was with Jake the Snake. Jake had a bag that didn't really come to anything, whereas to assume it's a snake. It was a quick start, and it was a because Lance Archer, he brought out Sonny Kiss in his arms, threw him at Janela, and then he basically brutally attacked Joey Janela. Joey Janela tried to fight back. He got a table. He was going to use a chair as well, but in the end, Lance Archer used his finisher, which is that sort of crucifix sort of slam thing. I don't know what the name of the finisher is, but it's like a crucifix slam. He did it through the table, and that's how he got the win, really, basically. And then we had Taz and Cage come out. They had this little announcement. Taz said that next week Cage will be the champion. He will beat Jon Moxley, and he had this bag. In the bag was a title, the FTW Championship, which I'm not going to say because of the little ears, but it's F the world basically. And he gave that to Cage, and Cage is now the FTW champion. Doesn't really mean much, to be honest. It's a throwaway championship. I don't really know why they sort of pulled that out. They already have like 3 championships. Is this going to be a defended championship? I don't really know, but we'll see. What was the next match?
Lucha Brothers and
Yep.
Butcher and the Blade versus FTR and the Young Bucks.
Yeah, that's right. On paper, this looks like a really good match. The only trouble is you had the Butcher and the Blade in there. And to be fair, they're not the best tag team. It would have been really good if they'd had another tag team in there instead of them. There was a bit of a scrappy middle involving them as well. But I did see a move that I haven't really... I have seen the move, but I haven't seen it done this way before, which is something new. It was a Canadian destroyer to the outside. That was a quite interesting move. They sort of did it over the top rope into like a group of people, and that was a really, really nice spot. But in the end, it was a little bit of an upset, to be honest, because the Lucha Brothers and Butcher and the Blade got the win, and FTR and the Young Bucks didn't, so that was a bit of an upset. What was the next match, Kai?
Jobbers versus Nyla Rose.
Yep, basically that was it. A tag team, female tag team group, 2 jobbers, never seen them before, versus Nyla Rose. Quick work, quick destruction of them. And then she basically announced that she's got this mystery of manager because all the championships have managers. All the champions have managers. I don't really understand that. Cody doesn't really have a manager. He kind of has Arn Anderson as kind of like his sort of coach. So that's not a manager in my eyes. Shida doesn't have a manager, even though she said you have a manager. I didn't really understand that. This was a little bit weird. And to be fair, Nyla Rose has just destroyed 2 jobbers. Does she really need a manager to get a championship? No. Next match, Kai?
It was Dark Order and Colt Cabana versus STU.
Yep, Dark Order, Stu Grayson, Brodie Lee and Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana has sporting this big bruise as well. So Brodie Lee sort of gave him a pep talk before to say, come on, we need you, let's get in this match. He then agreed against SCU. Again, it was Brodie Lee who did a clothesline finish, and then he gave Colt Cabana the win. So they're still sort of hinting that he's part of the Dark Order, or they're trying to tease him into it. But again, not really interested in the Dark Order anymore, because Brodie Lee, since Brodie Lee's come in, since then it's just not really been that interesting, to be fair. What do you think of the Dark Order, Kai? Wow, I think that speaks for itself. Speechless. Yeah, I don't think they're that great, to be honest. They're just, they need to rework them or something, or do something with them. Instead of bringing Brodie Lee and just having him as a leader, it's not really doing much for them. And then we get to the main event, which would have been Moxley versus Cage, but that's next week. It was
Orange Cassidy versus Jericho.
Yep, with
Santana and Ortiz.
Yep, he had Santana and Ortiz. It's a very valid point to make, because they did interfere with that sort of sock and balls. It sort of hit Orange Cassidy at one point where the referee was turned.
And they also had orange juice.
Yep, they had these orange juices, obviously mocking Orange Cassidy. At one point that got spat or thrown into his face. It wouldn't have got spat. It got thrown into his face.
Also, Ortiz kind of drank some of it.
Yeah, sort of doing that sort of mocking thing. This was actually a quite good showing from Orange Cassidy. I think people who are on the fence about Orange Cassidy saying that he's not that good a wrestler, or it's a stupid gimmick or whatever. He did actually wrestle in this match, and I thought he really did have a good showing. And Jericho's Jericho. He's getting older now. He is slowing down, but he did help as much as he could. In the end, because of Santana and Ortiz's interference, the best friends did come out to try and sort of do the save. They sort of fought through to the crowd. Jericho got the bat, tried to use that. Then he did a code breaker. There was a kick out, only for then a Judas effect elbow, and Jericho got the win. So it's a little bit of a shame that they didn't really put Cassidy over in the end of this, but is this feud now going to continue? It probably will, and then Cassidy's going to get the upper hand. So people who are saying Jericho doesn't put anyone over, just hold on, because I think this feud's going to continue. It just seems like it's going to. So that was Fyter Fest Night 2. Like I say, was it better than Night 1? I don't really know. If you put the two together, maybe it would have been a good pay-per-view, maybe, but I don't really understand why Nyla Rose squashed two jobbers in a pay-per-view quality show. I don't really know, and like I say, there was a little bit of filler because of that Moxley situation. But what did you think of Fyter Fest Night 2, Kai?
I think it was quite good, except the Nyla Rose part.
Yeah, I think you're right there. So that's our quick reactions of going through Fyter Fest. Next week, we've got another one. Fight for the Fallen is coming next week. I don't know why they've done this really quickly. Sort of Fyter Fest, then Fight for the Fallen. It's a bit strange, but we'll see what happens there. We will get that Brian Cage versus Moxley match. I wish they'd put a stipulation on it. Like, I know Moxley's sort of the hard sort of hard nut person who likes to do barbed wire matches and that. And yeah, I suppose you can get sick of seeing him in them types of matches, but I just wish, if they want to build up Brian Cage, they kind of needed a stipulation here where Moxley can thrive over Cage, and then they can have another return match. But we'll see what happens next week. So yeah, if you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe. And thanks to everyone who has subscribed. Got a couple of new subscribers over the last couple of weeks. And we'll see you in the next video, which will be the Fight for the Fallen reactions. So I'll say goodbye, and say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.